What's up, everybody? Suga Sean O'Malley, all over the news right now after his stunning performance win at UFC 292, defeating one of the all-time bantamweight greats, Aljamain Sterling, via second round knockout. Where did he come from? How did he get so famous? Let's dive deeper into the video. He's known for his boxing skills, his feints, his sniper shots. He knows how to crack a chin. He knows how to make a show. Sean O'Malley. Born on the 24th of October in 1994, an American mixed martial artist fighting in a bantamweight division in the UFC. Currently champion and crammed himself to the 8th place of the pound for pound rankings. 28 years of age, fighting out of Phoenix, Arizona, trains at the MMA lab where he is coached by his longtime friend Tim Welsh, a coach known for his analytical and calm approaches on coaching fighters. His first few career wins came in some local divisions back in Montana before fighting in a more known league named LFA. There he earned himself a highlight reel knockout win in which Dana White went crazy that he wanted to invite Suga Sean for a spot in the Dana White Contender Series. And then O'Malley went on to fight Alfred Kashekian and got himself a first round knockout win. Dana White saw dollar bills in his eyes as he knew that a new superstar was born. Sean O'Malley earned himself a UFC contract after that fight. He then went on to have his debut against Tyrion Ware at the TUF 26 finals, defeating Ware in a decision win. And after his debut, the bantamweight division didn't know what was coming, fighting Andre Sukamtat at UFC 222, earning himself a fight of the night bonus, winning the fight via decision. But after that fight, he then had a dark period. He had a 2-year layoff for testing positive for the performance or recovery enhancement drug Ostarine. In this period, he also had a hip surgery. So the question is, maybe those two things were connected to each other.
We do not support fighters that take enhancement drugs for fights.
But all good, O'Malley is clean. And then the Suga era started to move on, fighting Jose Quinones and Eddie Wineland at UFC 248 and 250, both knocking them out in the first round, even having a walk-off KO against Eddie Wineland. Then came his biggest challenge, the killer, Marlon Chito Vera. A rivalry begun that people didn't think would lean on to continue in 2023. Marlon Vera defeated then undefeated fighter Sean O'Malley, a TKO victory. Chito Vera kept on chopping O'Malley's legs, whilst at one moment O'Malley stepped back and misstepped, in which his knee fell off and he couldn't walk anymore on that leg. Chito saw his chance and immediately with ease finished the fight. After his first loss, he went back on a killing spree again, knocking out Thomas Almeida, Chris Moutinho, and Raulin Paiva. All three opponents were unranked though, but he sure had a great performance against those three. So the question now was, and which many fans were asking themselves, does Sean O'Malley get the Dana White privilege? And does Sean O'Malley belong in the ranks? Feeding him unranked fighters, protecting him, and his only big challenge was against Chito Vera, in which he lost. Many people started questioning O'Malley's skills if he really belonged to the top. But after the three spectacular performances, he then fought against an upper-ranked fighter, Pedro Munoz, at UFC 276. O'Malley was picking Munoz apart, making fun of him mid-fight, and after ultimately accidentally eye-poking him, which made the fight turn into a no contest. Many fans thought Munoz did it deliberately as O'Malley was picking him apart and wanted to call quits on the fight. But then, defying all odds, came his biggest challenge ever, UFC 280. Sean O'Malley grabbed his balls and went on to fight Petr Yan, one of the craziest killers the bantamweight division has ever seen. Fighting against a guy like Yan, 99 of the fans counted O'Malley out, as Yan was number 1 ranked, losing the title over Aljo in the craziest way, even Yan thinking, let me shut down this hype train and get more fans by defeating Sean O'Malley. This fight was a fight for the ages and it went on to be a decision. Many people thought Yan got the decision win, but O'Malley won the fight via split decision, which shook up the MMA world. Nobody would ever think O'Malley would defeat Petr Yan, as many people called it a robbery. It was an immense close fight, so respect to both men. O'Malley gave his honest reaction and said it was his hardest challenge ever, and was shook himself that he got the decision win, shooting himself into the number 1 ranked fighter in the bantamweight division. Title challenger, UFC 292, Aljamain Sterling gives Sean O'Malley a chance at the title. Sterling, of course, racking up names to create a legacy for himself, being one of the best bantamweights the bantamweight division has ever seen. And that was a huge mountain to climb for Sean O'Malley. And Aljo, of course, being the favorite in this fight, the bookies backed him, the fighters backed him, as his style was terrible for a fighter like Sean O'Malley. Wrestling, grappling, people counted O'Malley out before the fight even happened. And then the fight started. Sean O'Malley catches Sterling with a check right hook. We have a new bantamweight champion, a fan favorite, a striker, a star, writing down his own legacy, Suga Sean O'Malley. What is next though for Suga Sean O'Malley? We all know that the rivalry between Chito and Sean exists, so the next fight will most likely be Chito against Sean for the title, as Suga Sean immediately after the fight asked if Chito Vera won the fight against Pedro Munoz, and now they have another chance to settle the beef. But yeah, we have fighters like Corey Sandhagen, Merab, Henry Cejudo, Aljamain Sterling, Piotr Jan, all in line now, smelling blood. And now I say only Corey is deserving to fight Sean O'Malley, not Merab. Many people say Merab deserved the title shot, but he's the guy that waited and waited and waited while his partner, Aljamain Sterling, was champion, and he didn't want to fight him because they are sparring training partners, because their friend is a champion. So I think most likely Chito Vera's next, or the Aljamain Sterling rematch. The question is, how can you protect Sean now ultimately? And that is to put him against Chito Vera first. But after that, Corey Sandhagen will most likely feed on him if Corey goes full wrestling on Sean O'Malley. Suga Sean O'Malley, a fighter history. Will it be a long-serving champ, or will it just be a hype train in which Dana White sees money in? Guys, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching.
Stay hydrated!
See you guys next time.